No, I think I've heard worse. Alright, we're going to go through this together, just because it's been a while since we probably have done math. For the first one, it asks you to find the slope of this line. This line is vertical, so you may need to go back and rewrite this off to the side. Your point bucks. Remember that means horizontal lines have 0 slope, and those are y equals. And then vertical lines have undefined slope and are x equals. So if this is a vertical line, what type of slope does it have? Undefined. So that would be your answer. For number 2, it asks, is the following set of ordered pairs a function? Remember that in order for it to be a function, every x value has to go to its own y value, or the x's can't repeat. If they do repeat, they have to go to the same y value. Here, our x values are 1, 2, and 3, so they don't repeat. Each x goes to its own y value, so this is a function. Yes, Jake. The oval, yeah. That was not a good oval. 1, 2, 3, and just 3. So then all the x's go to the same y value, but they're different x values, so that's okay. For number 3, you need to evaluate this. So take x equals -5. You're going to put this in for all of your x values, which is just 1 in this case. This would give us 2 times 25. 2 times 25 would give us 50. And 50 minus 3 would give us 47. Do we have any questions on the first 3? There were 2 on the back. For number 4, you needed to state the domain and range of this graph. Because they are a bunch of different ordered pairs, these are going to be lists of numbers. For the domain, it's going to be furthest point to the left to the furthest point to the right. For the range, it's going to be the lowest to the highest. So for your domain, the lowest or the furthest point to the left would be -4, and then -2, -1, 1, and then 3. And then for your range, your lowest number is going to be at -4. And then moving up, we have 2 at 2, but we're just going to put 1 of them. We don't need to put 2. And then 3, and then 4. And then for number 5, we're going to solve this and then go back and talk about how you could have done this without solving it. So the question asks, how many solutions does this have? So we would need to get all of the constants on one side and all the variables on the other. Does not matter which side that is. I'm going to start this off by moving my 5x over by subtracting it to the other side. And then taking my 10 and moving it to the other side by subtracting that. So you have x equals negative 13. Because we have x equals some number, that would be one solution. In this case, because it didn't actually ask what the solution is, it asked how many solutions there are. If you remembered your rules, here we don't have the same coefficient and constant, so they're not identical, so it couldn't be infinitely many. We don't have the same coefficient and then different constants, so it couldn't be no solution, which would just leave one. Do we have questions on either of those two? Can you wait 1 second? There's some information I got to tell you guys. Okay. So before I explain what we're doing today, we're going to talk a little bit about some dates and things like that. One, everyone has a course calendar, the gold course calendar, in all of your papers. But I made that in December before we had a week off of school. So all the dates are wrong. So if you follow that or use that, I'm going to tell you the new dates so you can change it for yourself. The content is still the same, just the dates. So today is the 10th. Today we're doing benchmark work. Whatever that first date is, you can change that to today. And then the 12th would be direct variations. The 14th would be inverse variation. The 19th would be joint and combined variation. Then on the 21st, I don't think this said this on this, but you can add this in. Because I think I had 2 days for joint and combined, but we don't need 2 days for that. On the 21st is when you guys are going to take your benchmark, for those of you taking that. So all of your benchmark work will need to be done by then. Then on the 25th is going to be your Unit 5 quiz on variation. And on the 27th is going to be your Unit 5 test. Anyone need me to repeat any of those dates? So I have updated the board to show those dates. If we have any other snow days, then that will change again. On Canvas, I have updated all of the dates, so the quiz dates, the test dates, Khan Academy, Delta Math, those are all updated on Canvas. The only thing that's not up there is the benchmark, but I will add that up there / make an announcement to have that up there. Questions about that before I move on? Okay. I gave everyone their progress reports. That is your marking period 2, and it has a little piece that's your semester 1 grades. That will be your marking period 2 and semester 1 grade. That will go on the report card unless you take tests that you're missing, take the benchmark to improve your grade, or go back and redo Khan Academy, because I'm not putting in any new grades for marking period 2. That is it.
Oh, so we're done.
For marking period 2, yes. Which means everything we start doing, not today, but Wednesday, will go on marking period 3. So when we do those Khan Academies, those quizzes, those tests, those will all go on marking period 3. So make sure that you look at that when those start to go in. questions about that? Okay. And then the last thing, the last day or the day before, the second to last day, whatever, before we went on break, I talked to many of you about recommendations for next year. Those, whatever I said before is going to be what I recommended you for, unless we had a conversation to say something else, or if you've changed your mind, or anything like that. But just be on the lookout that is what I'm going to recommend you for, unless you need to talk to me about that changing.
Mister, what did I get recommended for?
I can show you later.
Okay. You said double attendant?
What?
You said double attendant?
This other thing.
Oh.
Okay, so today we're going to do something similar to what we were doing before we left, which is if you have tests you still need to make up, I would highly advise that you use this time to do that. Many of you used that time, and I graded those tests, and those should be reflective on your report, progress report. Sorry. I'm also going to be passing out all the tests I graded over break, so you can look and see if you want to retest any of those. If there are any tests you want to retake, today would be a great opportunity to work through benchmark work. That way it gets done. While you're waiting on me to come talk to you about any of those things, if you know you're missing Khan Academy from marking period 2, you could be working on that. Does anyone have any questions on what we were doing today?
No.
So you guys can start working on that, and then I'll be around.